Well, let's bring into this conversation Jonathan Davis, wealth expert in Hertfordshire. Jonathan, good afternoon to you.
Hi, Rob.
Jonathan, good afternoon. Donald Trump has reportedly said a trade war is good. Is there any truth in this?
No. A trade war has never been good economically for anyone in the history of the world, apart from the people that it directly benefits, which is, of course, the producers or the miners or the politicians directly involved. Everyone else is like mincemeat, as it were.
Now, he has a problem because the American steel industry has been decimated over a number of decades, and there is a glut of steel in the world. Can that problem be solved by imposing tariffs and import tax, or is it something that has to be solved globally by all the countries working together?
No, I don't believe that you can solve economic problems by countries working together. It's down to the market. It's down to companies to solve it. If there's a glut of supply of, for example, steel, as you say, in the world, then businesses will go bust. One of the adages in the markets is the solution to low prices is low prices. So if you've got a glut of something, of course, you've got an oversupply, so prices go down. If prices go down, businesses go bust. If businesses go bust, there's fewer of them supplying it, so the price rises. Eventually, businesses come back into the market. So it's not down to countries at all. It should be down to the market. Unfortunately, politicians always intervene, and that's where we get problems.
And the idea of import taxes, either way, whether the Americans are going to impose taxes on products from outside the world, steel, of course, but it's also things like, I don't understand this import tax, for example, Jonathan, on things like they're calling it the BMW tax. Yes, they import a lot of cars, but they build a lot of that stuff. They actually build in America. They have plants in America.
Yeah, Rob, this has nothing to do with economics. It's entirely down to politics, and that's what tax tariffs, and government subsidies has always been about. It's never been about helping the people. It's about helping the elite, helping the politicians to stay in power. To show you, it is interesting that all of a sudden this is getting the mainstream media involved, and yet how come we haven't heard for donkeys that the European Union charges a 10% tax on US cars coming into the EU, and yet the US only charges a 2.5% tax on EU cars, like French and German and Italian cars, going into the US. That's been going on for ages and ages, but we've never heard about it. And this is not about economics. This is Trump with his political hat on thinking, how are we going to get more votes in what they call the midterm elections, a bit like our county elections halfway through the presidential year. Oh yes, what I'll do is I'll get some more steel workers' votes from the blue-collar states, and therefore I'll coin a phrase, I'll trump up some stuff about tariffs. So it's not about economics. Unfortunately, what you do, however, when you raise taxes, because that's ultimately what's going on here, when you raise taxes, what you do is you benefit the steel workers and the steelwork companies, but you make it to the detriment of everyone else because, for example, you have to pay more to buy a car. So a few people get helped, but the majority get lumped. That's what happens with taxes.
Jonathan, thank you as always. Jonathan Davis, wealth expert from Hertfordshire.